Wow. Hello, my fam. It is Perez, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and your number one source for everything It Ends With Us saga. Today on my live, we are doing a deep dive into all of the new receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots. So much evidence was just dumped on us, and I'm gonna go through it all, including Justin Baldoni in his own words. That's right. Baldoni speaking out for the first time about everything that happened, not in an interview, but we are hearing directly from Justin Baldoni in many excerpts that were just unsealed from his recent deposition, and he spills the tea on Blake Lively. Oh my God, I am like a pig in heaven? Is that the expression? I don't know. But there's even more video as well. That's right, new video evidence that I did not share yesterday. And I can't wait to get into this all. Today is a good day. But before I really get into it all, as I napped, because I barely slept last night, I literally got less than 4 hours of sleep. I had this aha moment. A light bulb went off with regards to the sexy of it all. Remember when Justin Baldoni referred to Blake Lively, what she was wearing in character, as her character looking sexy, which Blake Lively found offensive? The reason that Justin Baldoni used the word sexy in lingo, communicating with Blake Lively, and with another actor on the set, which we have now learned was Jenny Slate. We kind of figured that out, right? We knew that was coming. Jenny Slate. I believe Justin Baldoni is whom we all thought he was. What do I mean by that? The reason I believe Justin Baldoni felt that it was appropriate to tell one of his actors that they looked sexy in their leather pants, Jenny Slate, is because I think Justin Baldoni really viewed himself as one of the girls. It was not said through a male gaze. Justin Baldoni was talking through the female gaze. Does that make sense? Justin Baldoni did not want to hump Jenny Slate or Blake Lively. He was one of the girls. That's how girls talk to each other, I think. I just made myself a protein shake, and I like to be transparent. Before we really dive into everything today, I'm going to do a shameless plug. I'm going to tag this product because I'm obsessed with it. Thank you, Edie. Edie. Let me make sure I do that right now really quickly. Bleep, blop, bloop. This is Select. I had to look at the flavor because this is a new flavor that I got. Caramel waffle cone. Oh my God. I swear by this. I love that it is packed with protein because it's a blend. I think it's a blend of whey and casein. Casein, am I pronouncing it correctly? Whey and casein. Let me tag it right now for you, Cindy. Select protein. Bleep, blop, bloop. There we go. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna tag them And if any of you buy it through me tagging it down below, oh, I'm gonna just tag one, they don't have this flavor, but I'm gonna tag another one that I've had, chocolate peanut butter, which is so good. It's not super high in calories, so much protein, barely any carbs, not like 2 grams, 1% of your daily intake of carbs. It's so like barely no fat, 1% of your total fat intake for the day. Anyways, your boy is trying to diversify. I'm gonna tag this. I'll show you my Amazon history just to prove it to you. I buy it. I buy it myself. Let me do that so you guys don't think I'm BSing you. Bleep, blap, bloop. Very quickly, we're gonna get to Blake Lively. Select. Look at this. Look at this. I just ordered it this month. I ordered it last month. I get different flavors every time. Look at it. It's the only protein that I buy. It is so good. And it goes on and on and on. If you buy this through my video here, your boy gets a little piece, and it's just a way of getting something that you need. Okay, all right, enough. I've talked about it. All right. Oh my God. How many calories? It is 110 calories a scoop. So this is also like a meal replacement for me. I'm not telling you what to do, but this is my breakfast. So my breakfast is 110 calories. Okay, you guys, I go live here every single day at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Please know that I genuinely, deeply appreciate every single person that watches. However, I'm going to switch this to member-only mode now, but please stay watching. It's gonna be a long stream. Today we are only talking It Ends With Us saga. And if you wanna join the stream today and chat live with me, you can just become a member. Let me pin in the comments section here of the live chat very quickly instructions on how you can join us right now. Boom. I will pin this, but I think you could still enjoy the show even if you're not chatting live, and everybody can chat and leave a comment after the live stream has ended, okay? Also, later on, I'm gonna switch this at the suggestion of my YouTube rep. I do not mean to offend anybody. This was advice that was given to me by my YouTube liaison. I meet with him once a month and he gives me the latest releases, the latest products, says that I should be doing this, goes over my analytics and yeah, he knows that my views are, so later on, I'm gonna switch this live stream to member only live, but it saves in its entirety, so everybody will be able to watch after it's uploaded, okay? All right, sorry for all the preamble and chitty chat. Let's get into it. Oh my God. You know I have obsessive thinking, self-diagnosed OCD. I was able to get through the entire motion for summary judgment, but there was an overabundance of receipts, proof, timelines, screenshots. It was a mountain of evidence, and it felt like an avalanche. I had to get a nap in. I literally slept less than 4 hours. It was at 3 hours and 50 minutes. So in the live today, I want to go through the most relevant exhibits the most relevant new information. Hey, Munchie. Hey, Dee. Including Justin Baldoni's deposition, and Jamie Heath's deposition, and Steve Sorowitz's deposition. Oh my God. I pray this video is not crazy long. So I am doing this in order to make sure we go through everything. I'm not going to read everything, but I'll acknowledge what I'm seeing and then share the relevant parts. First, we have an employee handbook. So that just shows that Wayfair abides by standard HR practices. There's an employee handbook, and it goes over everything, including their policy on anti-discrimination, anti-harassment, and anti-retaliation. Up next, Exhibit 2. All right. The deposition of Jamie Heath. Let's get into it. Or not. This one's not that interesting. They obviously did not include all of the depositions in full. They just included excerpts of the depositions. You know what? I'm going to take a break from this because I know that people's attention spans, unless you're watching live, which if you are, thank you, all of you, my members and those that are not. Let's start off with some of the juicier bits, like the new video that has come out, which I did not include in yesterday's video that I made. So, oh my God, and I forgot also, oh my God, there's just so much to talk about. I'm honestly having like a little panic attack and a meltdown inside because there's just so much. Not only did the motion for summary judgment drop last night, however, in addition to the dump of evidence and the legal reasonings that Wayfair and the defendants gave us for why the judge should not proceed to trial with this, remember, Wayfair is claiming that all of Blake Lively's claims fail. In addition to going through all of this, we also found out that yesterday in Texas, the judge there granted Blake Lively's request to be dismissed from Jed Wallace's lawsuit against her. This comes just a week or two after Jed Wallace was dismissed from Blake Lively's lawsuit in New York. Where are they supposed to sue each other? This is bonkers. He was dismissed from her lawsuit in New York, and now she was just dismissed from his lawsuit in Texas. Where are they supposed to sue each other? Can anybody answer? Munchie, Blake's lawsuit is in federal court, remember? Blake's lawsuit is in federal court. It's wild. So, let me show you this new, very important video where Blake, I want you to hear Blake in her own words, okay? Let me put the volume up. All right. Let me start from the beginning. Here we go.
I know it seems so ridiculous. I don't think it's
The reason they're so sexy is because it's
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Let me play it again.
The reason they're so sexy is because it's just like
Blake Lively referred to her wardrobe as sexy. Justin Baldoni was being one of the girls and mirroring the language that Blake Lively herself used. Sexy. I love all of the video that Wayfair dumped upon us. Hey, Rebecca. Welcome, Rebecca. Honestly, you know what Wayfair did last night? This motion for summary judgment is their entire case. If this does proceed to trial, we're going to have a rehash of everything that has just been shared with us last night. We've gotten everything, and I'm going through everything with you. So much joy, because it reaffirms that I am on the right side. I am team truth. That's why I've believed Justin Baldoni, and all of the receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, emails with Sony and others just reaffirm what I knew all along. Well, not all along, because remember, initially I believed Blake Lively. What a fool I was then. All right, let's continue to go through all of these mountains, multiple mountains of evidence. So the first deposition excerpt is just Jamie Heath talking about his role as CEO of Wayfair. I'm not Cat Jill. His role as CEO, what he does, the purpose of the company, boring. They included Blake Lively's second amended complaint as a reminder of her misrepresentation of everything. Remember, that's one of my many nicknames for her, the mistress of misrepresentation, because she's trying to portray things in a totally different light than what happened. All right, the next exhibit, more from Jamie Heath's deposition. Oh, this is good. This is good. I think in this one he gets, because I already briefly looked at some of this. He talked about the infamous moment where he looked at her and she, was not clothed. And we learned that according to Blake Lively, she had told him not to come into her trailer. We'll get into it. So let's see here. They talk about having an HR person. The HR person doesn't go into the office, but she does, doesn't work out of the office, but she does go into the office regularly. Jamie was also a producer on It Ends With Us. There was a hotline that people could call with any HR grievances on the set of the film. Now we get to the whole birthing video of it all. And I just loved seeing the lawyers ask questions. God, Ezra is so exhausting. Exhausting Ezra. That's my new nickname for her. So, per Jamie Heath's deposition, your lawyers produced a video in this case. Did you provide a video in which your wife is in a tub with a baby to your lawyers to produce to us in this case? I did, said Jamie Heath. Where was that video stored? You mean, at what point? At the point that you took it to give it to your lawyers, where did you get it? Where was it? I believe it was on my phone, said Jamie Heath. It was on your phone? I believe so. Did you edit the video at all before giving it to your lawyers? I did not. So the video you gave was the complete video as it existed on your phone? Correct. What in your memory did the video depict? It's our midwife, my sister, my kids, my wife, myself, our newborn baby. I believe we were singing or praying. The baby was crying, and then at some point we were whispering a prayer in the baby's ear. That's what you recall? Yeah. And your wife was in a tub? A birthing tub. Yeah, a birthing tub. And you said she wasn't clothed, but she had a towel over her. Objection. Alex Shapiro was with Jamie Heath for the deposition that he did. So Alex Shapiro, the one that wrote the motion for summary judgment, is the one that is saying objection here. Thank you, Jen Q. Jamie Heath said, the towel was more over the baby, I think, because, when the baby comes out of the water and you bring it up, then it's wet. So you put a dry towel to cover it. Then this is Ezra Hudson saying, and in the video that you gave to your lawyers to give to us, were you in the video? I am. Are you nude in the video? No. Did your wife give birth in a tub? She did. Were you in the tub when she gave birth? I was. Then we skip further along. Okay, we get to the infamous moment from the trailer. It picks up right here. Jamie Heath, I did not know that she was in a state of undress. Ezra, do you have a specific memory of the incident that Miss Carroll, Miss Baker, and Miss Lively described? So what I'm taking is that Blake Lively and her glam team heard a knocking at her trailer door, and they all allege that she told him not to come in. And maybe that's true. Maybe he misheard. Blake could have locked the trailer if she was, I don't know. Jen Q, the point of the questioning was about the video that he showed Blake Lively, because he showed her, or tried to show her, a bit of that birthing video of him and his wife. So, back to the incident where he went to the trailer. Ezra, what is your memory of that incident? Well, this is day 2 of shooting. We had got a text that morning, maybe the night before, but it could have been that morning from Miss Lively that she wanted to meet with me and Ange and Justin and Alex. We tried to have the meeting that morning. It didn't work out. We tried to have it in the afternoon, several attempts, and we were not able to achieve. At the end of shooting, we were at the cemetery. I approached her and said, I know you wanted to meet today, but it's getting late, and suggested that maybe we do it the next day or something. She had said that she was going back to her makeup trailer and could we meet her there and we could have the conversation then. Not the conversation that she wanted to have in the morning, the conversation about whether or not we were going to do it that night or the next day. Ezra. So the conversation, just so I understand, it was just about when the meeting was going to take place. Jamie Heath. She was hoping to have it that day, that night, and now that it was at the end of the day, I was concerned about her turnaround time. Holy heck, there's a lot of people watching now. Hi, everybody. If you want to chat live and support, instructions are pinned here in the chat. Become a member, but I appreciate you all so much. Thank you. Also, I'm enjoying my protein shake. I love Select Protein. It's tagged in the video, or if it's not tagged now, it will be tagged when the live stream goes live for everyone. I tagged it through GNC, so it's really simple to order. Get it. It's so good. Okay? And double tap and like. Double tap and like. Y'all, I am functioning on no sleep, but I am here. We're going through this. My anxiety is so bad. I'm like, is anybody going to even watch? Maybe everybody who cares has already read this on their own, or maybe not, because there's so much information that was given to us. Oh, so good. Okay, so Jamie Heath. So, more still dropping? Wait, not more still dropping. I don't think anything new was dropped except for this. This was just dropped a little bit ago. A letter from Alexandra Shapiro. On behalf of the Wayfarer parties and in accordance with Section 21.7 of the Electronic Case Filing Rules and Instructions, we respectfully request that the court permanently seal 936-115, which was mistakenly filed on the docket and has now provisionally been sealed. The entire document should be filed under seal pending a determination from the designating party regarding its confidentiality. Wait, I need to see which one this is. 936, hold on. 936. That was that was a couple days ago. That was Wayfarer's opposition to Lively's request for sanctions. Okay. Separately, we respectfully seek direction on how the court would like to receive the summary judgment materials that, due to their size or format, the court could not be filed on the docket directly. We have requested access to the court's large file transfer protocol, or if the court prefers, we can deliver a thumb drive to the court with all relevant materials. We have separately provided access to Miss Lively's counsel. So yeah, that just came in moments ago. Okay. All right, let's continue going through this. Oh my God. So much. My brain is short-circuiting. Okay. So, Jamie Heath continues. The four of us, Justin, myself, Angie Giannetti, and Alex Sachs, all went to her makeup trailer. The four of us. I knocked, heard some sort of come in or yes, or some indication that led me to believe it was okay to open the door. Ezra. So, the opposite of what the three witnesses said. 964. Oh, yeah, I already saw that, Roses. Yeah. I have all those tabs open already. So we're going to get to that. So much. Okay. So the opposite of what the witnesses said Ezra. And then this is the next page. You asked me what? I just want to make sure I understand. They all said no, and you heard yes. Is that right? Shapiro, objection! Jamie, Miss Shapiro, will you let him finish his answer? You asked him to describe his memory of the event, and you keep interrupting him. Miss Hudson, well, I'm asking questions as he is providing the answer. Jamie Heath, would it be okay if I just give you my answer? Ethically challenged Ezra, go ahead. I am living for this. I knocked. To be clear, with Justin and Ange and Alex with me at the bottom of her steps. I knocked on the door, heard some indication to come in. As I took a step up, I saw that she was leaned back. She looked what I thought was either maybe breastfeeding or nursing. I said to her, oh, it looks like you're busy. I can come back. Thank you, Paris. As I turned around, she says, oh no, that's okay. You can come in, just look away. And I said, sure. Now, I never saw the front of her. I just saw this, which appeared to me a familiar position of her feeding or nursing or pumping. So then I walked over to the side, looked away. We had a 2-minute conversation, could have been 3 minutes, about whether or not we were going to have the meeting that night or the next day. I was trying to negotiate with her. Could we do it tomorrow? Because I was worried about the turnaround time and we would lose money, which is an implication. We would lose hours in the next day, which is an implication of money. We had a conversation back and forth. She eventually said no, she had to have it tonight, and she would not waive any sort of turnaround time and do it off record. So I then left, walked down the stairs and out of the makeup trailer where Ange, Justin, and Alex were. Reported to them, she wants to do it tonight. I tried to convince her to do it tomorrow, but she wants to do it tonight. She walked out for 4 or 5 minutes, greeted us. She walked out 4 or 5 minutes later, greeted us, said hello. We went into her trailer and we had a discussion about what she wanted to meet with us. Ezra, and when she came to the trailer for the meeting, did she say anything about what had just occurred in her makeup trailer? She did not. This was only day 2. This is May 16th. Did you ever learn that Miss Lively had a different view of the incident in the trailer prior to her testimony? I learned that her different view is when I read the CRD complaint. So you didn't hear any concerns raised by Miss Lively regarding this incident in the trailer or the second day of shooting until the CRD complaint. Jamie Heath, we had a conversation about it on June 1st. 2 weeks later, but not that there was a concern. And you say, we had a conversation about it 2 weeks later. Who are you talking about? Jamie Heath, there was a conversation with Blake, Justin, myself, and Alex Sachs about she had got COVID and we returned to set. And we had a morning conversation before we started working. Okay, so if Miss Lively wasn't saying she was uncomfortable, what was your understanding of the reason she brought up the video? The birthing video? Objection, Alex Shapiro. Jamie Heath, I can tell you what the interaction was and what I inferred from it. Ezra Hudson. Sure. Jamie Heath. As she came back from having COVID, and as her text said, she wanted to get off to as read, back to work on a solid track. She said to me that, Jamie, you know, when you walked up to me to show me the video with your wife, I thought you were showing me corn. I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Really? Oh my gosh. She was like, I know that it wasn't, but it startled me. I thought that's what you were showing me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then we moved on. She didn't say anything that it was uncomfortable. She was just telling me that's what she thought. She recognized what she thought it was. Oh, I hate that they cut out some pages. Anyways, like it's not all in chronological order. Let me remind you all, get some of the protein tagged in this video. Oh! I need water. I need to be hydrated. Y'all, I am running on fumes. I don't think it was a setup, Caroline, but maybe. I think she just is a diva and she misinterpreted things. All right. We're picking up here where it says, I don't mean to dispute anybody's memory. I can just only tell you what happened. So we're still talking about the birthing video. After she had said something about it, as I said, that she thought the video at first was corn, recognized that it wasn't because it was not. Hey, Strawberry. She then said, also, you know, when you came into the trailer a couple of weeks, I asked you to look away, and at some point, you made eye contact with me. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. She says, I'm not saying you were trying to cop a look. I'm just saying that I had asked you to turn away and you made eye contact with me. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize that. Maybe I happened to glance through conversation. I have no memory of it. And then she moved on to the next. Ugh, and then it skips to another page. They're still okay, it seems like these are all the instances that they're talking about the birthing video. So we talked about the video. We didn't talk about the details of it. We just brought up again that the video was shown. Again, I apologized to her, recognizing that she was surprised by it. But this wasn't written, but that topic was. So no more mention of Baldoni or Heath's previous. They're going over the list. Remember the requirements? Oh, wow. Oh, I'm so glad we're reading this all. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, what? Oh, my God. Remember that meeting in Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' New York City apartment? It lasted 5 or 6 hours. And according to the producer of It Ends With Us, A lot of it was Ryan belittling Justin. The lawyer asks, for 5 or 6 hours? Jamie Heath says, a lot of it was. Damn, a 5 or 6 hour meeting? There is no need for that. Holy hell. And I can totally imagine, I can see it. Ryan Reynolds. Because Ryan Reynolds did this before. Ryan Reynolds pulled this same stunt on the set of Deadpool 1. Shocking. The lawyer asks, and when you say belittling, what do you mean by that? When she first started reading a couple of her things and Justin was hearing this, taking this in and trying to make sense of it, he was frozen by hearing this stuff. And instead of, well, let me not say instead of, and his reaction was that he was being a coward. That what you do when a woman says this to you and points out these things, you just stand up and you just apologize and apologize. And Justin was just like, but I didn't do this. And then he raised his voice and used some language and insinuated that he was not a good guy. Oh, no, wait. She's talking. Okay. Oh, this is what Ryan Reynolds is saying. Okay. Oh my God. Now it skips to talking about Jed Wallace. This is bonkers, y'all. This is bonkers. Talking about how the cast and crew did receive training. Oh, welcome, Miss Andy. Yay. Appreciate you. All right, let's keep it moving. Oh my God. All right, up next, we got another deposition. This one, Justin Baldoni. I gotta do that better. I love finally hearing directly from Justin Baldoni. So, we're talking about Wayfair and compensation of employees. Welcome, Nanny of 3. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. Okay. Talking about just the setup, Steve Sarowitz being the co-founder. Talking about starting Wayfair. He doesn't have any responsibilities with the financials of it all. This happened on October 6th, by the way, in Los Angeles. Talking about a former employee. Seems like this was an employee that was fired. Oh, thank you, Strawberry. Appreciate you, Strawberry. Labid, some employee that was fired, I think. Rebecca! Thank you, Rebecca! Okay, here we go. Now, talking about the weight comment and lifting Blake and Dan Saladino. So, the lawyer asks, if my memory is correct, oh no, this is Baldoni. And once again, it just jumps ahead. It's not consecutive pages of his deposition. Baldoni says, if my memory is correct, I was being accused of many things. But Miss Andy, thank you. I was being accused of many things, but one of them was like putting Miss Lively on a phone call with a dietitian, which was a lie and an extreme distortion of the truth. Lawyer, who is Dan Saladino? Baldoni, he's a personal trainer. Lawyer, is he Miss Lively's personal trainer? I would assume so. And what about your text messages with him? Did you believe at the time would help you demonstrate the truth of what had happened? Baldoni, the communication between him and myself that showed that he also was working with me. How many screenshots do you recall? Okay. God, it jumps around so much. It's bonkers. Next, we're back talking about Steve Sarowitz. Talking about how they were discussing trying to change the narrative. Specifically referring to this one incident about script was a disaster, and he saved the movie. It's flipping the script from script was a disaster, and he saved the movie to something about Ryan claiming the female hired was a feminist writer, didn't know how to tackle a female film, etc. Okay. Oh, thank you, Andrea. Also, going back to that meeting at Blake and Ryan's house, I love that Justin Baldoni did not apologize for stuff that he didn't do. A man of conviction is not going to admit to lies. Do you know what I mean? Oh my God, what? Oh my God. They're talking about Stephanie Jones now. And Justin Baldoni said in his deposition, it's starting here. So this is what it says. Thinks she represented The Rock. And she had said on that call that Mr. Reynolds had like terrorized The Rock or something to that extent. Wow. I believe that. Ryan Reynolds is the problem. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds. They should subpoena him, Roses. Oh my God. Wow. Something about a letter. I don't remember the details, but something about like he had written a letter and it was like they wouldn't do press together. I don't know. It was a lot of gossip, but that's why I remember laughing because I was just like, oh. Oh, wow. They're talking about Blake Lively. Um, so Stephanie Jones apparently was talking smack about Blake Lively, it seems. He's recounting his conversation with Stephanie Jones. It kind of felt like, oh, don't worry. She's this and that about Blake Lively. It will be fine. The movie's going to come out and it will be awesome. And everybody's had a bad experience with her. It was like that kind of call. Talking about the trainer moment. I specifically remember sharing the situation with our trainer and asking him about what he thought Miss Lively might weigh when we shot the scene where I had to pick her up because of my back, and how they then confronted me the next day, and how this trainer evidently then went and told her that I was asking about her weight or something. And then how that became this big thing. And they sat me down, and I just remember her kind of not being able to believe that was even a thing. Wait, maybe they're talking about a producer. Oh, we're getting to Jenny Slate. Oh my God, I love this. I believe I shared with her that I had made a comment about the way Jenny Slate looked in her wardrobe. And then I used the word sexy. And I think she started responding by joking about how, again, I don't want to, if it's okay, repeat the words that she said, but describing, generalizing the women and their fragility. And then I shared, I think I talked about her wardrobe, how hard it was with the wardrobe, and just that it felt like it was just a very hard experience. Okay. Oh God, I'm not gonna get into this. Justin talks about the book and why he wanted to make it into a movie. No, a different book. When you're not reading things in consecutive pages, it's hard. Talking about his podcast, about toxic masculinity. Talking a lot about that. Jesus. This is good though. Do you believe yourself to be an ally of women or a feminist ally? Justin Baldoni. I certainly have attempted to be. All right. Juicy. Let's keep it moving. Oh my God. Thank you all for joining me on this live. Now we're getting to Steve Sarowitz. Steve Sarowitz. Holy freaking hell. I'm not going to read everything, just the most interesting bits. Mike Gottlieb took the lead in questioning the billionaire. Oh, wow. They're talking about shutting down the Wayfair organization, the nonprofit. Remember when that happened? And I love that Sarowitz brought up the reasoning for that. Sarowitz said one of the deciding factors was death threats against me and my family as a result of this litigation. Boom. And the arson in his house he brought up. And Mike Gottlieb says, and that informed the decision to shut down the foundation in that way. Steve Sarowitz, you were asking me about my personal opinion, correct? Mike Gottlieb, I was asking you about why you made the decision to support closing the foundation. Well, as I said before, the board made the decision, and then you asked me about my, then it skips a page. Wow, even the foundation was getting threats, Munchie. And they had to get security, Steve Sarowitz says. Oh God, Mike Gottlieb. Oh my God. I'm deeply sorry that occurred. I'm also a descendant of Holocaust survivors, and so I don't appreciate it either. I'm trying to understand the link between the threats that you received and your decision respecting the foundation. I think I understand you to be saying that the link is this threat that the foundation itself received. Am I understanding you correctly? Steve Sarowitz, in addition to the personal death threats, in addition to the death threats and kidnapping threats and arson against my family, the foundation also received a threat as a direct result of this litigation because of the actions taken by the people within this litigation, which were purposely leveled against me and my family. They talk about, ownership percentages. Y'all, this is bonkers. Mike Gottlieb, is it accurate that you were barely involved with the film besides providing its funding? Steve Sarowitz, yes. Translation, why is this man being sued? Thanks for helping, Mikey. Is it accurate that you only visited the set twice? Yes. Is it accurate that you were not involved in the PR for the film? Yes. I love that Steve Sarowitz flat out says, we never did a smear campaign. Fact. He also says, in my testimony that I never gave any input on ideas or ways to negatively influence the narrative against Miss Lively and her family. It's my testimony that I never did that, then or now. Even after litigation was commenced, correct. How do you define negatively? Objection. Ellen Garofalo. Steve Sarowitz, it's my testimony that the sole intent was to use my money to promote the truth about Baldoni and Wayfarer. So then he asked differently, did you ever provide input and ideas on ways to influence the narrative about Miss Lively and her family? Steve Sarowitz says no. Do you want to spend a minute and think about it? Steve Sarowitz says, well, there was one time that I suggest, oh, thank you, ISIS. Steve Sarowitz says, I'm not, am I? Peter Parker, Spider-Man? All right. Thank you, Nicole. Steve Sarowitz says, there was one time that I suggested that we should point out, after Miss Lively had said that Ryan Reynolds rewrote a scene, that we should point out that that was a scene written by a female writer. That was the sole time I remember. And why did you point that out? I don't recall. Marty, thank you. All right. I don't want to be here all day, so I'm just trying to go over the highlights of the testimony, the deposition. Did you ever review any of the marketing materials for the film that were created by Sony? No. I was not involved in the marketing. I was told that Miss Lively and Sony took over the marketing by Jamie. Would you have, and then it skips along, would you have to approve that before Wayfarer hired would you have to approve that before Wayfarer hired a PR team? No. All right, he's going through working what Street Relations did, what Melissa Nathan did. Oh, Steve Sarowitz alleges that Blake Lively defamed him with what she said in the CRD complaint and the New York Times article, which we now know is protected and she can't be sued for any of that. Specifically, where he was on set for a scene in which Blake Lively was giving birth, blah, blah, blah. Steve Sarowitz says it was insinuated that I went on set for particularly that scene. I didn't know what scenes were being filmed. Again, I wasn't on set for that scene, but I did not. It was insinuated that I went on set for that particular scene. I know, Munchie, and I like that he is not backing down. Geez, why are they including so much of Steve Sorowitz's deposition and not more of Justin Baldoni's? What was the point of this? Because remember, this is all coming to us from Wayfair in their dump last night. They're talking about what constitutes SH. I do love hearing the back and forth. This is a good exchange. Other than what you've heard from your attorneys, for example, you never had a conversation with Mr. Baldoni where he told you that someone on the set had told him that his behavior was unwelcome? I don't recall, says Steve Sarowitz. You guys, I have to take like a 30-second break because my brain needs fuel. Have a turkey jerky stick so that I can. Okay. It's just, it's overwhelming, right? Okay. I know some people are triggered by eating on camera. Sorry. God, Mike Gottlieb makes me want to pull my hair out. Was there ever a time, again, prior to this litigation, where you learned that someone on the set raised concerns that Mr. Baldoni's behavior was inappropriate during filming? Steve Sarowitz, I am not aware of any HR complaints that were raised or any SAG complaints that were raised by his behavior. Mike Gottlieb, well, that's an interesting way of distinguishing the question, because that's precisely how your PR people talked about it to the press. So my question to you, sir, was not about HR complaints or SAG complaints. This is important, though. Thank God. Oh, I was having like a Shelby moment in Steel Magnolias. My blood sugar was dropping. All right. My question was whether you ever became aware prior to this litigation of anyone on the set raising concerns that Mr. Baldoni's behavior during filming was inappropriate. I don't recall, says Steve Sarowitz. Oh, I love this. I love this. Oh, Steve Sarowitz talking about when Wayfair signed that list of demands from Blake Lively, remember? So, Mike Gottlieb, you knew in 2023 that Miss Lively's legal team had sent a list of protections for return to production, and you talked about it with Mr. Baldoni, didn't you? Steve Sarowitz, I'm trying to answer this honestly, so give me a second to describe what I think of that list. I believe that Miss Lively sent a list of things that she insinuated we did, which we never did, and that forced us basically, after millions of dollars were invested to the movie, to sign a list of things that we would do no more, that were never done as a ploy to take over the movie, which she eventually did. So yes, I believe that Miss Lively did send a list of demands for her return to work, and we did sign the list. But when we signed it with the understanding that we did not agree that we had actually done those things. I love it. As I previously stated, the two main things she said about me are complete or partial lies. That's my direct experience. She accused me of being in a scene, at a scene which I was not at. She said she was scantily clad. An actor who was on the set with her testified she was not, publicly testified she was not scantily clad. And then throughout the course of this case, the evidence has come out that much of what she said was not true or partially true or twisted to make it seem worse. Very on brand for Blake Lively. Yeah, I said that earlier, Roses. We talked about that letter from Alex. And she told the court that she could send over a thumb drive. So yeah, we may not necessarily get everything today because courts are slow, so it might take a while for everything to be uploaded. Days, maybe even until next week. Who knows? It's already Thursday. There was no formal complaint. There was no formal report. Blah, 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 blah. God, being deposed is exhausting. Like, even just reading this is draining. I needed a turkey jerky stick. Poor Steve. I'm using the word we as in the entity Wayfarer Studios, of which I'm the majority investor. Not that I was individually involved in any of the actions. Not that I have personal knowledge of any of this. Not that I was involved in any of this personally or have any individual knowledge. However, the effects have hurt me have hurt the company and myself as an owner of the company in that respect. Look at this. Steve Sarowitz testifies, quote, I talked to Brandon Sklenner when I was on set, and he was effusive in his praise for Justin, his directing, Wayfarer, how he had been treated in general. So I met with him personally on the day I was on set. I don't know, Nan. Probably because he just wanted to align himself with the power couple. They chose the very famous duo. He did, and so did everybody else. Steve is saying a lot of I don't recall. Given my experience with both of them, I have reason to mistrust Miss Lively, direct reason to distrust Miss Lively, and reason to trust Justin Baldoni. Why does a lawyer keep asking Steve Sarowitz about things that happened on set when the guy wasn't there? Given the lack of accuracy that I've seen by almost everything else that Blake Lively has said, I've come to doubt her veracity as a witness on almost everything she says. Boom. Oh, look, now we're hearing a little bit from the deposition of one of Blake Lively's glam people. This is from Miss Carol. Blake was having, this was read to Steve Sarowitz. Blake was having body makeup done in the trailer by Vivian. We heard the door open and looked and went, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it was Jamie at the door. I grabbed a cutting cape, which was over my chair, and held it up to try and cover her. And Blake said, whoa, whoa, don't come in. And he said, it will only take a second. And that's when all of this action was happening. He stayed in the trailer, they had a discussion, and he left. Also, asking Steve Sarowitz, are you aware that Miss Slate had complained to Mr. Baldoni about him calling her or referring to her as sexy around May 18th? Jenny Slate. They're asking him about that 5 or 6 hour meeting, which he was not present at. So dumb. Steve Sarowitz says he lost a significant amount of money on the film as a result of Blake Lively's conduct. Millions. I couldn't put an exact dollar. I haven't done it because I just looked at it as something I was not ever going to go after her for. Okay. We're getting toward the end of this Steve part. Bonkers. Oh, look, Claire Ayub. The Claire Ayub of it all comes up. The conversation where this woman secretly recorded Steve Sarowitz. Were you asked to have a call with Claire Ayub? I know I did. I don't recall how it came up. I don't recall how the call came about. Do you recall knowing when you spoke to Miss Ayub that there had been any problems on the set of Empire Waste? I visited the set of Empire Waste and was not aware of any problems. But again, I don't run the day-to-day. All right, we got through it. All right, let's keep it moving. Justin Baldoni biography, okay. Going through all the exhibits. All right. Oh my God. More of Justin Baldoni's deposition now. Thank God. That was a little too much Steve Sarowitz. He's talking about his TED Talk. He got into a disagreement with somebody before. Mike Gottlieb is asking him about his college girlfriend. Jesus. How is any of this relevant? Talking about the Baha'i faith. He talks about receiving training for SH. It was in person. He went. He talks about corn. You know, corn. He talks about the book that he wrote, Boys Will Be Human. Get me to the good stuff. Here we go. Yes, baby, we're back. Okay, says Mike Gottlieb. You hugged Miss Lively on multiple occasions on the set, right? Yes. Every day? No, says Justin Baldoni. How many times would you estimate that I hugged Miss Lively, said Baldoni, on the set? So not outside of the set environment, but at work on the set. Objection, said Baldoni's attorney. Justin, are these hugs? I'm so sorry. Sorry, are these hugs that I initiated or are these hugs that I was a recipient of? You can characterize it however you'd like. Baldoni, I just want to be accurate in my testimony as it relates to the hugging. That was my question. You can include hugs that you believe you initiated and hugs you believe that Miss Lively initiated. Like lump them all together, asks Justin. Your best estimate, says Mike Gottlieb. Number of times. Objection. I don't know, he says. I don't know. One of Blake's makeup and hair people testified that there was a culture of hugging on the set. Mike, are you aware that she said that made a number of people uncomfortable? Justin Baldoni, I find that odd. Mike Gottlieb, you find that odd? Why? Because Mrs. Baker was often the one that would run up and give me a hug. Boom. And because of that, you find it odd that she testified that a number of people felt uncomfortable with the culture of hugging on the set of It Ends With Us? Correct. Indeed, Munchie. Thank you all for sticking with me. Holy hell, this is the longest live I've ever done. Jesus. I incorporated, we're moving along, another page. I incorporated all of Miss Lively's ideas without hesitation. We're talking Jenny Slate again. Oh, thank you, Black Babe. Oh, New Zealand. Okay. Did you say to Miss Slate when you made the sexy comment that you could say that because your wife was there? Shapiro, objection. My recollection of that sexy comment was that it was all kind of said in one sentence. And what was the one sentence? Miss Slate walked in, recalls Baldoni. As a director, I was doing whatever I was doing, getting the set ready. I looked over to her. She was wearing I believe, black leather pants, which were designed to, I'm sure, look sexy. And without thinking, I said something to the effect of, wow, those pants look sexy on you. And my memory, if it serves me correctly, my wife was in the room nearby, and I think in my head, I was like, oh. And then it cuts out. Mike, did you want Miss Lively to perform the birth scene without most of her clothes on? No, says Baldoni. Oh my God, Taylor Swift comes up again. Fudge, but there's no context leading up to it. In their circle, Hugh Jackman, Sean Levy, Taylor Swift. By that point, as I testified earlier, I was essentially forced or threatened to step down off my film. I wasn't able to finish my own film, even considering it tested higher. Somehow, the actress of my movie, who was not a producer, was able to take complete control of the film. Thank you, Nanny. By this point, Miss Lively had requested that my name be removed. So I had my A Film By credit removed. I was removed from the majority of marketing materials, from the poster. I was being removed for the most from the trailer. I know that she had been working with Taylor Swift to make sure that she got the song that she wanted in the film, and I had assumed that was not a battle or a fight that I could ever win. All of the cast had unfollowed me, which is a very public thing to do right before a movie comes out, all in unison. And at that time, I was being threatened via my agency that if I didn't release a statement then, the gloves would come off. And then, fudge, this deposition transcript ends. Wow. Then we get an email from Justin Baldoni to Colleen Hoover. Don't need to go into that. A couple of exhibits filed under seal. Excuse me. You guys, I have to pee so badly. I've been drinking water. I had my Select protein shake. I'm just going to go pee with you all. Oh my goodness. Oh, I just farted. Could you hear that? I should mute it. All right. I just weed, but that was also a lot of tooting. It was that protein powder. All right. Hey, hack. Let me wash my hands. Jen. God, I wish I had the time to like re-edit this and just like make it something else also afterwards. I just knew I can't be making 100 videos. Like I had to do it all in today's live. All right, another email. This one from Colleen Hoover to Justin. An email from Justin to Colleen. Colleen is a snake. Colleen Hoover is a snake. Another email from Colleen to Justin. Another email from Colleen to Justin. Another email from Colleen to Justin. Oh my God, the amount of time it took to put this all together. What's this one? Oh, no more. This DV and SH nonprofit partnering with Wayfair. Another one filed under seal. 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 My brain, I had to go through this in chronological order. Another one filed under seal. Here we go. This one is talking about Blake's deal. Hack. Thank you, Hack. All right, talking about Blake's deal. Another email on that. A memo to Blake's agent. Another Blake's deal. I think we've seen this one before. Or part of it. That might have been the initial deal. More about Blake's deal. Okay. Payment processed. Okay. Oh my God. You want to know something funny? I just got a text from Melissa Nathan. I literally just asked her, I'm live on YouTube. Can I give people a quote from you? Ah! Ah, too funny. Thank you, Courtney. Appreciate you. Oh my goodness. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, more about Blake's deal. God, can you imagine the amount of work it took to compile this? This is their entire case. More negotiations about her deal. Filed under seal. Filed under seal. The screenplay. Filed under seal. 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 Here we go. Oh, okay. A link to an Us Weekly article. They included as an exhibit. The headline read, Blake Lively says nobody knows Ryan Reynolds wrote a scene and it ends with us as screenwriter weighs in. Filed under seal. Oh, here we go. They included the employment handbook twice. Okay. Filed under seal. Filed under seal. Oh, here we go. We've seen a lot of this before, confirming that Blake did not want to see the intimacy coordinator. Okay. Joie, thank you. You angel. All right, I have to wrap this up in 10 minutes because I have a call. So I'm going to give you the highlights. I'm just going to go onto Reddit and see what the kids are talking about. Insanity. All right, there's a new lawyer joining the Wayfarer team from MSF. Meester, Feaster, whatever. Okay. Whatever, y'all. I can't even. My brain is done. I'll just take your questions for a little bit. Sony wanted more sex scenes. Sony wanted the movie to be R-rated. Oh my God, insanity. Wow. All right, y'all, I'm gonna just peace out. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna resume back to my normal programming tomorrow, even though there's more I did not cover, but we covered a lot, okay? Thank you to everybody. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, okay? Bye.